have clear dreams and visions for your life.
That one is hard. Let me talk there.
Okay.
That one is hard when you're in your 20s.
Yes, it is.
It's hard to know what you want.
Exactly. That's true.
I've not seen a 20-something-year-old that actually knows what they want. I think it's hard for a lot of 20-something years to just know what you want.
In your 20s, especially as a church girl, I would say date wisely. Because when you date, you know what you want, what you don't want. I mean, at that age, young boys at that age too they're really not mature, honestly. So it's not they're really not mature. Welcome to Life as a Say podcast with A and A. Welcome to another exciting episode of our podcast where we bring you organic, relatable, entertaining topics around faith, love, relationships, social interactions. And as usual, I have my co-host here, Amaka.
Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you to all our new subscribers. We really appreciate your support, your subscription, and all the good stuff. Please stick with us. Keep coming back. Thank you.
Yeah, I also wanted to say a big shout out to Jollof Radio. Thank you so much for featuring us and for making us to be part of your picks for the month.
Yeah,
right.
we actually got picked. Yeah.
Shout out to Jollof Radio.
Thank you, Jollof Radio. We appreciate you. Thank you. So let's go straight into our topic today.
All right.
So we're going to be talking about what we wish we knew in our 20s.
Okay.
From my point of view.
From her point of view.
From my point of view.
I'll add mine. Let me see what I wish I knew.
Yes. Yeah. And advice or what, sometimes we live life in retrospect, right? We live life backwards. And so the things that happened in my 20s, I was like, now as a grown, mature woman, I'm like, I wish I knew better. I would have, done things differently. And so let me go straight to the point. So I think one of the things, and I don't think I did enough of this, it's a cliche. People always talk about it. Be true to yourself. Right?
But what does that mean though?
Yeah, being true to yourself is just being honest, owning yourself. Right? Owning your flaws, owning your weaknesses, owning your vulnerabilities, not trying to, up level or trying to meet societal expectation or even your parents' expectations or your family's expectations. Just, this is who I am. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. These are the boundaries I have for my life, right? Just setting solid boundaries, just being you.
So yeah, I totally agree with that. So being you, but does it mean that you're not going to change if there's something? Because you said owning your flaws, owning your imperfections, but if there's something that needs to be worked on, that doesn't negate the fact that if you can change, you can change a certain behavior, a certain trait. That's what I'm trying to say. Because a lot of people say, be true to yourself. This is who I am. Then they use it to excuse a lot of bad behavior. Like, no, that's how I am. No, you can change. Change is constant. But what I think it means to be true to yourself is that irrespective of who I am right now, and I'm walking to who I want to be person, or walking to the level I want to get to, I still enjoy the process. I still enjoy who I am. I've accepted myself as who I am right now. I'm content with it, but I still strive to become a better person. So I think having that balance is necessary, because you can't just say, this is how I am, you better take me or you leave it. You understand? But you are exhibiting some...
You know why for me, being true to yourself is start with, first of all, acknowledging who you are. I understand what you're saying in the sense that you should be open to change, right? But sometimes growing up, especially with our culture, African culture, you're not even allowed to be fully who you are, because they're always trying to play up to your parents, expectations, their desires, what they want you to do, what society wants you to do, that a lot of us become people pleasers, honestly, growing up, right? So, but in your 20s, when you're coming into your own, maybe you've left the house, you finished school, for those who went to college or those who didn't go to college, but at 20, at least you're somewhere now, right? Starting with just identifying yourself, like if there's something wrong with you, because a lot of time growing up in families or in homes, we have hurts, wounds, trauma that we don't even, that determines or dictates how we be, as how we show up in the world, right? And if you don't sit with those feelings or those truths about yourself, right, you wouldn't be able to even, be open or accepting of change, like true change that would make you a better person. So I think first of all, be true
to yourself.
Right? I am this person. I'm an introvert. Like I remember growing up, my sister, she's so extroverted, right? And she had friends and, you know, people just liked her. And I wanted to be extroverted. I am not an extrovert. I'm such an introvert, right? And so I kind of, for some time, like I shape-shifted so that I'll act like, okay, I'm an extrovert, but really, I'm tired.
I feel
inside.
like the mask suddenly falls off at the mask fall.
Yeah. So in your 20s, just be true. This is who I am, right? It's another thing to change. Like they're toxic. I mean, we all have flaws, like deep flaws. I'm not saying if you are flawed, you should remain that way, but just accept that, hey, I am this way or I am that way, right? And then start with that. Because if you don't, then people would label you as what they want you to be, and you keep living up to their expectations, which no, don't need that in your 20s.
Yeah, you don't even need that in your whatever 30s, even in your 10s. It's just easier as you're growing up to get into that habit. It's easier in your 20s because your 20s are those, like, you're not really people. Okay, let me put it that way. People say that young people get a pass for most of it. If you want to be goofy or make a
mistake, make all the mistakes in your 20s.
Mistakes when you are young, when the repercussions are not too they're not too great. I mean, there are some that are great, but like it's not, like it's easier to just make it to your 20s. Let me just put it there. So 20s are a good time to be able to accept yourself, but
make mistakes, fall, goof, learn, and you know, just pivot, recalculate, and keep moving where you should. You know?
And I think for me, what I was trying to say is that you also want to just like balance it. You're not like, yes, you accept yourself, but like don't let it get extreme. We don't want to be extreme and be like, okay, this is how I am, because I've heard statement like, this is how I am, I can never change, right? Or you understand, that is statement coming from like bad behaviors, right? But there's no behavior that cannot be changed, or no behavior that cannot be learned. Every behavior, every culture that we have, it was formed by our environment or the people living with us. So there's nothing that cannot be changed. So I just think it's necessary to just draw that balance and say, yes, accept yourself truly, but also look down honestly, because also it's also looking down honestly to yourself and saying, okay, this is who I am, this is my imperfections, these are my strengths as well, but also my imperfections. What can I do? Which one is, what do I need to work on to be better?
And honest. Okay, so you know, we said in our 20s, so 20s, right? We have 30s, we have 40s, right? As you mature, you begin to grow in those areas. So those things, that those 20 childish things, 30s, you begin to grow out of them, right? Like you're saying, you begin to
grow in your 20s, grow.
Girl, don't listen to me. Don't put too much pressure on yourself in your 20s. Enjoy your 20s.
So be
enjoy
your
yourself
20s and make mistakes.
Make mistakes. Fall. Get up again. Make calculated, sensible mistake. I'm not saying you should fall off from the bridge.
There are some mistakes that linger. The repercussions linger.
Let yourself go. I'm talking as someone who has, in my 20s, I was just so utter. Let's free, enjoy. It's your 20s. You're growing, right? By God's grace, you have many more years to live and to learn, because we learn by living.
True, because no one has ever lived this life.
We live. I realized that, like, for me in my 20s, I didn't live. I was just trying to please people. I was just trying to, okay, let me be like this. Let me be a good girl. Let me please this person. Oh, my pastor wants me to do this. Girl, live, okay? Be true to yourself. That's number one.
Don't make
number
bad mistakes. That's my own.
Be yourself. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your 20s. Number two, trust your intuition. Trust your gut.
That's
right? Because I think at 20 years, like, you're just now finishing university, or maybe you just entered university, or you're still in university, or, you know, you've left home. You're no longer on that. You're an adult, really. Your parents have cut the, off you. And then you meet a lot of people. Listen to your intuition. Especially if you're a Christian, when the Holy Spirit gives you a check, if there's a check in your spirit, hone in on that check. Don't just say, let me just keep going. No, because you suffer for it, right? There are people who have entered relationships, who have joined cults. Let's talk about that. Cults.
Yeah,
right? Because I watch a lot of Netflix movies, and even in real life, where you come into a place where it seems like, oh, it's so loving, because some of those cults, they kind of love bomb you, right? So you're coming, well, it can be a church. Some churches operate as cults, right? It can be a community. It can be an organization, like anything that like they just suck you in, right? They love bomb you, they suck you in, and then they begin to own you, like they control your every move, your every thought. You lose your individuality, right? It becomes not about what you are thinking, but the group thinking. Like there's a group thinking.
Yes.
You lose your independence, you lose your autonomy. That is horrible. You don't need to be in that space.
Yeah, and it's true, because like in your 20s, there's that tendency to want to be in a group, especially for me. I remember when I was in my 20s, I was in college or university back home, and then you leave. Most people are not in the same like college or university where their parents live. So
yes,
exactly. There's already that distance, and so there's that the fresh, like you go for these freshers, like they call it freshers because you're still fresh from
they kind of
high school, so everybody's trying to integrate you. Everybody wants you to come to their fellowship, everybody wants you to come to their club, everybody wants you to join their own group. Like you said, that is it's very important that you trust the Holy Spirit, because then your parents are not there. You don't have your siblings advising you. You don't know, first of all, you don't even know who is who. So you have to trust the Holy Spirit to say, okay, if there's a check in your spirit concerning a group, concerning a person, listen to it, even if you don't see any evidence, because like she said, somebody can be so nice, love bomb you. You're like, why am I having a check in my spirit if this person is acting all nice? But you don't know the intentions of that person. So trust that the Holy Spirit is leading you, because that's also a time that it's gonna test your identity and be like, okay, what are you in school for? There will be so many distractions, especially college, going to the university, but you need to trust your intuition.
Yeah, and it's not just college. We're even talking of like generally, even after college and wherever you find yourself, just always be wary, right, of being trapped where you don't want to be in a controlling environment. It can be a relationship, right? You meet a guy, like there are people who in their 20s, they've entered relationships where they are still recovering from many years later, in their 40s, in their 50s. Very aggressively toxic, like when someone abuses you, emotional, mental abuse, where some people have gone crazy because of, those things, right? People who had like bright future, things going for them, and they enter those relationships and they lose their focus. I think we'll do an episode on like such kind of relationships, because it happens a lot. Another thing is getting involved with a bad gang. We call it bad gang in Nigeria, where you become exposed to like narcotics, drugs, alcohol, things that are addictive, right? Because when you get involved with those substances, like they almost take over your brain, your prefrontal cortex, your brain, like you're just you live for your addictions, like you lose sight of your where you're going to, as a young person in your 20s. So be very important. Be very, very careful. Honest, I can't overemphasize that. Thankfully, it wasn't our experience, but I know people who have been through, like they have met the wrong people or met the wrong community or wrong organizations that derailed them from the rest of their lives, right? So your 20s is very pivotal, right? Yeah.
Those are when you're forming new relationships.
That's when you're forming your identity, coming to yourself as an individual. It's very
important that you're sharpening your intuition and just listening to it. Just kind of be wary, not suspicious and paranoid, but just a little bit more careful.
Just be more careful. Be more careful. Yeah. Anyone that tries to control you is not. You don't need that person. I mean, like I keep saying, you're a young person. You make mistakes. Listen to wise counsel, but be free, don't be bound. Basically, the third thing I wanted to say is date, have fun, explore. Dates. I didn't date much in my 20s. I can count the number of number of
when you say
people
dates,
I dated.
Is it like the opposite sex, or you're
opposite
talking just,
sex? Which one is this? What else
no,
are you dating?
some people have girlfriend dates, not in an unhealthy way. Are you talking about with the opposite sex?
Yeah, like dating.
You just have to clear down. Some people.
So when I say dating, I'm not saying sleeping with the person. I'm not saying having sexual partners.
You have to explain.
Clarify. Okay, that's not what I mean. I mean dating, like you are young, right? Like just go out, meet people, be open-minded, right? For me, for instance, I was in church. I was a church girl. So in my 20s, it was all about like church. Like I was so involved in church, and I'm thankful for it because it's made me who I am today, right? And I was so heavily focused. I was so heavily focused that Jesus is my husband.
Empty unconscious. You know what? There's someone else to say, let's be a 12 o'clock Christian, like as in you'll be heavily focused, but also you're living on the
earth. Come down to yes.
And I think my fellowships too, they kind of help. I mean, I feel like my fellowship then they kind of shielded us a little bit, but to just be like, okay, church, like, which is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Now
let it be balanced.
Encouraging extracurricular activities.
Yeah, because I feel like it's good that we're serving then as young people, right? But I feel like our mentors and our leaders then, right? And straight up out of theirs, like I wish they were more balanced to say, hey, you're doing God's work, is fantastic, but don't forget this other area of your life that you should look into.
But I think it came from a place of trying to protect, and shield. Because, I get what they're saying, because sometimes you don't know until you're in that situation. Because I kind of look back and I'm looking at the structure in America and I see my kids and how they go for extracurricular. They encourage sports, they encourage them to get engaged. I didn't have that opportunity. All was my father was interested in your grades. What did you get this year? Did you carry first or second? Did you?
How can you have a boyfriend? Even dates. Like dating is foreign to our culture.
So things like that, they encourage well-roundedness. But we didn't grow up in a culture that encouraged well-roundedness. It was more like just face your book or face your business don't follow bad guys. Just be a good person. They even prefer you to start.
And they don't give you the tools to be that good person. It's just they just tell you go and be a good person, like
obey your teacher. Everybody.
Yeah. So honestly, your 20s, especially as a church girl, I would say date wisely, because when you date, you know what you want, what you don't want. I mean, at that age, young boys at that age too are really they're really not mature, honestly. So it's not they're really not mature, Some people don't believe in dating, which is valid, I guess. But for me, I feel I wish I had dated more. I dated some. I remember one guy then in my church. It was just a member, right? He was a member. He wasn't a leader. I was a leader, right? He had asked me out for like a drink after work in the evening. I was like, what? Like it felt so foreign. I was like, what? A member, me, a leader? Like I just saw like, how can it's almost like coming down to that level to like because I was close to God. I was
assistant Jesus. You can't date Peter, assistant Jesus.
Oh my God. But anyway, in your 20s, it's we're not it's not sexual experience, it's not sexual encounters, it's just dating. So
meeting people,
doing fun stuff. Yeah. So that's it. Another thing I'll say is, I think this actually went into don't allow yourself to be enslaved by anything or anyone. Your loyalty is to God and to God alone and to your parents, right? Because you owe them the respect, the dignity. Be loyal to them, be loyal to God. That's it, basically. Another thing I wanted to say is have clear dreams and visions for your life.
That one is hard. Let me talk there. Okay. That one is hard when you're in your 20s.
Yes, it is.
It's hard to know what you want.
Exactly. That's true.
In your 20s. Like, let's remove the societal expectation where every Nigerian parent, they want their child, most Nigerian parents, to be a doctor or an engineer or a farmer. Those, the top courses I'm talking about. But I've not seen a 20-something-year-old that actually knows what they want. Like plainly, like say, I want to do this in next 2 years, I will now do this in next 3. I think it's hard for a lot of 20-something years to just know what you want.
Some people
because there's a lot of options.
Some people do, yeah.
Okay,
there's a lot of options, yeah.
Some people do. There's a lot of options. So when did they start knowing? Maybe when they were.
So some people actually have strong drive, like maybe naturally that way, right? I look at people like Anyway, let me not say Mark Zuckerberg because it's just like the 1% of the 1%. But I mean, he started coding and all that. Even I think he went to school. He enrolled in Stanford or one of these schools, but he dropped out and realized that wasn't what he wanted, and he started coding. But I think he always knew he wanted more out of life. He wanted to be successful. You might not know what it is, like the clear blueprint, but you know that I want to add to this world.
Okay, let me contribute. That's very nice. Another thing too is that you mentioned all these people, exposure or experiences also kind of help to eliminate options, right?
Yeah.
For example, he was exposed to coding, and then he discovered he did not like coding, right? Nigeria or Africa, apart from what they're teaching us in the class, maths, English, that we have not really applied it. We don't know where X is going. When they say X plus Y is equals to, we don't even know where X is going. Somebody that has not had a lot of experience, right? How do you know what you want when you haven't even explored other things? You haven't been exposed. Like, you haven't been exposed to, let's say, coding. You haven't been exposed to sports. You haven't been exposed to like dance lessons, music, to even know that, oh, I don't like dance. I want to do music. Right. I don't really like art. I like science. But you haven't been exposed to all that. So how would you have a clear vision?
Yeah, and that's where African is different than here.
So that's where I'm coming from with saying that it's really hard to know what you want in your 20s because I don't feel like you've had a lot of exposure and
a lot of life experience
to make a solid decision. Have a clear vision.
Yeah. But at least start with having dreams. Dreams of, I mean, a lot of successful people didn't become successful until later in life, like in their 30s, 40s, 50s, right? So in your 20s, just have tell yourself, I want to be this by this time. I mean, God willing, it's not in our power really, but just have a plan. Okay, you want to do your master's, you want to get a doctorate. That's the kind of plan I'm talking about. I'm not saying clear vision where everything is. Because you don't know, even in relationship, in your 20s, you really don't know what you want.
You really don't know.
In your 20s. Because I look at myself now. You're still figuring yourself now. I look at myself now, I'm like, wow, in my 20s, I really like what you think you wanted.
Changes, yeah.
By
your 40s, your priorities have changed. By 50s, it changes again.
So your tempo, at least don't be an NFA, no future ambition. At least have some ambition. Have some ambition.
And also give yourself grace.
If
you're not getting it, you're not, another thing is, I believe in giving yourself grace.
And that's
because other people might have figured it out and say, oh, I want to be a doctor. And you're just like, why is my own different? I don't even know what I want to do.
I just want to sleep and eat and
I don't even know what I want to do. It's like, see, this one is moving. And give yourself grace. It's also part of
life. That's true. So to piggyback off giving yourself grace, take risks, calculated risks. In your 20s, take calculated risks, honestly. If you want to do a business, if you have the money and you're like, oh, with this business, but just do it, right? If you want to go to a school, if you want to travel, like I remember I came here actually in my 30s, but I just turned 30, right? But in my 20s, I know I always wanted to come here for school. I wanted to school here, but in my 20s, I was so afraid. I was like, oh my God, if I go now, then I haven't married, like I don't have children, I'll just be a single person living up. Like it was just so many excuses I was giving to myself, right? So my 20s went by, I didn't do anything. It was like when I turned 30 and now came here, right? So I still eventually did it, but if I started doing it in my 20s, it would have been better for me. So take risks. If you fail at it, if you make mistakes, give yourself grace. Be gracious to yourself, right? Stand up, pick yourself up and keep going.
Just to add to that one before you go into other points, but also like trying new things, also part of taking risks, not just because of business or anything. Just I also wish that I had like tried new things, like more hobbies.
Yes.
I learned how to crochet. So now that I've been so skilled, I won't have to look for a tailor, right? Do you understand? Just small skills that you can learn, right? Those handy things. Education is wonderful. I mean, big proponent of education, but also vocational skills are also important. Learning just how to sew. If something goes wrong with your clothes, learning how to do other things around the house. Maybe you're a guy or a woman, you want to learn how to do things around the house, small things. Trying new things. You understand? Vocational skills are very important. Also having hobbies, right? That even in your own spare time you can do to distress, like crochet, making jewelry, I feel like just learn something, right? But then you're also exercising your brain and developing yourself.
So sure. Okay, so another thing I wanted to say is when people show you who they are, believe them.
So if somebody show me Pepe,
believe them the first time. Like Maya Angelou, this is Maya Angelou. So when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't make excuses. Right, a lot of young people.
What does this go to, like being when they show you a bad side or show you a good side or both?
Both, everything, yeah. When someone shows you a good side, at least believe them. Well, believe them still. Just be. The Bible says, "Be gentle as dove, but be as wise as a serpent." Right, yeah. So be discerning. Okay. But when someone shows you like glaring behaviors or character about themselves, just believe them. Honestly, it will save you a whole lot of heartache.
So we won't give them a second chance.
You can see, okay, I seem like I'm contradicting myself. You can give second chances, but be wary. Right. Don't be too gullible, right? Just use your sense and okay, you show me this character, let me I'm not a proponent for cutting people off. I know some people like, you show me once I've cut you off. No, don't cut people off, but just be watching, be watchful. Yeah. Watch and pray. Yeah. Let me not say this one. I wanted to say. No, let me not say this one. So the last one, which is I think is the most important for me, and maybe probably for you as well, is building a solid relationship with God. Right? It can be overemphasized because your 20s is when, like you said, you're coming to who you are. You don't have your parents constantly talking into your ear or your siblings, right? You're your own mature human being. And one of the ways to know what path is right for you is by having that connection with God, right? Because He's the creator of all things. He created you. He knows the plan He has for you. So being in tune with Him to guide you, to say, okay, Father, I'm committing my life into your hands. Lead me where I should go. Remove the wrong people, bring the right people, remove the wrong opportunity. Now, it doesn't promise a life without challenges. That's the truth. Because sometimes in Christianity, we feel like, if you come to God, everything will be rosy. No, it's not going to be peaches and cream always. You're going to have bad days, hurtful days. But just knowing that God is with you is very important. And I'm not saying be religious, right? Because we grew up, especially with our culture in Africa, just religion, just go to church. That's not the same. Knowing God for yourself, being in tune with Him,
having a good relationship with God, and then just because it's also in your 20s, because especially if you're not married in your 20s. I know I got married early, so if you're not married in your 20s, you have time. You have time. Even if you're working, you still have more time than somebody that is married and has kids and is working as well. So it's a great time. You have less distraction. Nothing is stopping you from building that spiritual foundation of praying, of fasting, of hearing from God, of doing the spiritual things that you need to do. So take advantage of that time. I cannot overemphasize it. All the time you do not have that you have in your 20s, especially if you're not married, your responsibilities are not great at that time. Take advantage of it, because whatever foundation you build on, it will sustain you even in those busy times in the future. Because you already have that foundation, you already have that routine, it will help guide you when busier times come, when responsibilities increase. You will not be shaken as somebody that does not have that foundation.
Yeah, that's very true. So 20-year-olds out there, have fun. I believe in her. Please enjoy yourself, because I didn't enjoy my 20s. And I'm coming from that angle to say enjoy your 20. Do what you want to do, but hold God, right? Know God, and just keep going. So what would you say was the best time of your life?
The best time of my life.
Like which of the decades? We're not saying our age, but which block was the best time? Your teens?
Oh my gosh, I think I enjoyed my college. So I would say
your 20s, early 20s.
College was really nice for me. And my 7, I had great friends when I served. Yeah, I met people from different part of the country, and I liked that. I liked that diversity. Met people from the north, from the south, and then we all came together and stayed in the lodge, and we all did things together in Copper's Lodge. You understand? Together, and we had time. Saturday, Sunday, we're not doing anything, right? We'll go see the town where we were and just explore and meet the villagers in that community. And the villagers were all nice.
Where did you serve?
Ogun State. It was the one village in Ogun State. Yeah. And then we'll carry water on our head to go and fetch from the borehole and from the well. So things like that were very enjoyable, because when now I look back, I'm like, that was real camaraderie. Like, all of us are just like bunch of novices. We don't know anything.
Bushy-tailed, wide-eyed.
Yes, wide-eyed. We just need to explore a different town and save our nation. I love my NYSC.
Yeah.
Because I felt we did lots of projects for the community, and I really enjoyed serving the community, the kids in that community. I think my NYC was great.
So that's your 20s. So you had a good 20s. I like that. So for me, the best times of my life, I would say, would be my teens.
Teens, okay.
Yeah. I feel like there was something about my teens. It wasn't the easiest because I was still home and I had... in Nigeria, they don't discipline you very well. I didn't like to walk, so they used to knock me very well on the head. There was so much house chores. Oh my God, but I still loved it because it was just so organic, so, so immune from the cares of this world. Not immune is not the right word, but I was just so oblivious of what life was, because I was still under the roof of my father and mother. Right? There was food. I had friends. Secondary school friends were the best. If you ask me, they were the best, because you go to school, you gist, you watch movies. There were musicals, like music that was raining then, and then you read books. I used to read my Sweet Valley High. I just loved. It was just a period of dreaming for me. I had lots of dreams as a child. Right? I escaped into my dream world, one day I want to. When
you read all those books, you don't be like, let's say Prince Charming came.
That thing.
Prince Charming came and saved the
people should stop deceiving your children.
That's why they call it fiction.
We didn't know it was fiction. I was young girls.
They call it fiction now.
We didn't think it was fiction. No, we thought it was a real Prince Charming. But really, my teens I really love my teens. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love my teens. And then when I went to university, in Nigeria, university like 17, 18-year-old, so I went to a different city.
You entered early now.
Yeah. No, most people is 17. Okay, well. Yeah. I think I entered about 18. Yeah.
Okay.
18.
18 is early.
18 is early? Really? Okay.
So.
Okay. So, but that was when I left home and I went to Owerri. I missed home. I missed home very well. I missed Lagos. I think I missed Lagos a lot. So I think then, my college wasn't, so I don't have very good memories of that. And then I enjoyed my youth service. I enjoyed my service. I think I did that. And then 20s. I don't know. I feel 20s, my teens was the best. Yeah.
I'll go with my 20s, college, and NYSC.
Yeah. Anyway. But we thank God we're still alive and we're still work in progress. We're still enjoying the decade where we are right now. And we're believing God for greater and better things. So if you're 20-year-old out there, 30-year, wherever you are, whatever age range you are, just keep going. Don't give up. You can always start afresh. If you fall, pick yourself back up. Keep going. The future is always brighter.
Yeah, let us know what you enjoyed in your 20s, what you wish you knew in your 20s. If you want to share with us, we're open to receiving all the experiences. I like to meet people's experiences as well. So thank you for joining us on this episode. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment. Yeah, we appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.